Hello everyone, it's Frances with String Into a Thing. Welcome to the baby headband class. This works up so quick. It's a great beginner's project and we learned to make this cute little flower to go on top. It's just a few puff stitches. Oh my goodness, this would make just a wonderful gift. For this project you will definitely need a crochet hook and some yarn. Today I'll be using Stork Struck Mint Charm by Baby Bee. I just got this at Hobby Lobby and I'm going to be using a 5mm hook. But you can of course use whatever coordinating hook size it is that you have. You could check right here for a 4 medium. It asks for a 5.5mm crochet hook. And just some scrap yarn. I've got yellow for the center of my flower and then white for the petals. We will also need just a tiny little pair of scissors and a wonderful tapestry needle. I'm so excited. Let's just jump right in. So I'm going to make a little bit of room here and get my yarn ready to go. So this particular yarn skein is a center pull, so it makes it super easy to go along with your projects because it starts to come out real easy. So first I'm going to make a slip knot. Now if this is your first time here with us, I do have a beginner series playlist that I'll leave right up here for you, just in case you wanted to go check those out before you start this. Now this particular project, of course, is always customizable. You can make it for an adult, a young kid, or even an infant. Totally up to you. So for me this is for about a 5 or 6 month old baby, but this particular pattern uses a multiple of 2 plus 1 more for our turning chain. So let's first make a slip knot. So I'm going to grab the yarn and the tail is facing me, and I'm actually just going to grab the yarn and scoop it up and wrap it around my 3 fingers like this, make a little X. And then with my crochet hook I'm going to go under the first one and over the top string and pull it through. Pull both tails a little bit and release the tail and pull, and you're good to go. Now our chain is going to be again a multiple of 2 plus 1 more for the turning chain. Now this particular headband actually builds on the rows like this. So we're going to be working long ways this way, and then once you get about 12 inches, if that's where you want to stop, you can sew them together. So basically we're just going to make row this way and go this way and this way and this way. That's how we're going to build this up. So however many rows we build, we'll know when to stop when it's the desired length. Now if you did want, you could just make your starting chain a little bit wider. That way you'll have a thicker headband, more proportionally for an adult to be a little bit longer of a headband, if that makes sense. So to make a chain, I'm just going to keep the string a little bit taut right here with my index finger and pinching with my middle and my thumb right here at the knot. And I'm going to yarn over this way, hook it, and pull through. And that's one chain. I will be chaining a total of 10, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's my multiple of 2, and then I'm going to go plus 1, and then I'm going to go plus 1 more for the turning chain. And there we are. How beautiful. Once you have your 10 chains right there, or however many you would like, we need to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So of course this loop does not count right here. We're actually going to count 1 and 2 right here. So I'm going to insert and make a single crochet, yarn over, pull through. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through both. And there you have it. Right after you do a single crochet, let's chain 1 by yarning over and pulling through. Now we're actually going to skip a chain and insert into the next. So this big opening right here is the one we were just working in. We're going to skip this one and go into the next chain. Again, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, and yarn over again, pull through both loops. That's your single crochet, and let's chain 1 again. And we're going to repeat this all the way down until we're finished. And it's quite a short little chain here for a little baby. So again, skip, insert into this chain, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, single crochet right there, and chain 1. Easy. You can do this. We're going to skip, go in the next one again, single crochet, chain 1. And then we're going to skip, and you guessed it, single crochet. But for right here, we're actually going to begin row 2. So instead of just chaining 1, let's do 2. 1 chain, 2 chain right there. Now let's turn our work. We just began our first little foundation row, and now we began this chain 2, this little chain 2 right there, is going to pretend to be a half double crochet. And now we are going to first begin our wonderful little cluster of half double crochets to create that cute little puff stitch. So right here you'll notice there's a little stitch space right there. We actually are not going to work inside that. We're going to go inside the chain space itself. So if you take a look at your project and you kind of spread it out a little bit, you'll notice that there's these little openings right here. Almost kind of like an O. That's our chain one space. So we're going to begin a half double crochet. All you have to do for that is yarn over and insert into that nice big hole and pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. For a regular half double crochet, you would just complete this all the way through. But for this particular piece, we're actually just going to continue to leave loops on our hook until we have 9. So that's going to look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and yarn over, insert, and pull up a loop. And I'm going to do that 4 times. So that was 1, 2, kind of keeping this hand loose here, and kind of pulling up. 3, and I'm kind of going up a little bit just so I can have some leeway here. And 4. And once you have 9 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull all through the loops. Nice and gentle, soft. And there you have it. After you get your cluster there, let's close it up with the chain 1. And then we're going to hop into the next space and do the same thing. So we're going to half double crochet 4 clusters in there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 9 loops on the hook. Once you're ready, yarn over and pull through all. Take your time. You got this. There's another little cluster there. Let's close it up with the chain 1 and move on to the next space. Yarning over and inserting into that chain 1 space, pulling up my yarn a little bit. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you wanted to practice this half double crochet, I have a wonderful tutorial here in that beginner's playlist. Okay, beautiful. Chaining 1. And now we have 1 more opening right here. Isn't that beautiful? We got that one last opening. You know what to do. Let's yarn over and do a half double crochet 4 cluster. 2, 3, and 4. Once I'm ready, I'm going to pull through all of these here, but I'm actually not going to chain 1 this time. I'm going to leave that just right there. And then this little stitch on the side, you'll be able to kind of turn your work towards you so you can see the top of him. He's right there. We're just going to go straight away into him without chaining 1. I'm just going to wrap the yarn around the hook, go straight away into that stitch guy right there, and make a half double crochet. And that'll complete that round. So half double crochet there, you got 3 loops on the hook, yarning over again and pulling through all 3 loops. And now I have our little 4 clusters for a tiny little baby headband. And again, you can extend this as big or as small as you'd like. How cute! I love it. We just finished our 2nd row. Let's begin our 3rd row now. Let's first chain 1 and turn our work. And we're actually going to be single crocheting in the very first stitch right here. He's right there, you'll see him. I'm just going to stick my hook in there and pull up a loop and pull through both. That's a single crochet right there. And let's chain 1. After you chained 1, let's go ahead and hop over that little cluster puff and go straight away inside this cute little square right here. We're going to stick the hook in and just do a single crochet right there. Easy peasy. Chain 1 after the single crochet, hop over clusters, and chain 1 after your single crochet. And again, into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both the loops right there for your single crochet, and then chain 1. And to finish our very 3rd row, let's go ahead and single crochet into this chain right here. So it's the 2nd chain that we created from the row previous, and it's kind of hard to find. If you're not confident, just stick your hook in the side piece of this mechanism, pull up a loop, and single crochet right there to kind of square it up. and it'll become a little more easy to see as we build on the rows. Okay, wow, so cute. Let's begin row 4 by chaining 2. And then turn our work. Again, that chain 2 acts as the very first half double crochet right there. Then again, we're going to create our awesome little cluster puffs, I like to call them. We're going to skip that first stitch right there. We're not going to worry about this guy. We're going to go straight away, and we're basically now stacking on top by creating 4 half double crochets going in there, right in that chain 1 space. Again, we're going to yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, keeping it nice and long a little bit here. Yarn over again, pull up a loop. We're going to do that 2 more times, a total of 4. 3 and 4. Once you're ready, yarn over, pull through all the loops, and you'll get better as you go. Staying nice and loose is a great way to begin. Let's chain 1 to close that up. And again, basically stacked right on top of the other cute little puffy. I'm going to yarn over and insert, pull up a loop 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, pull through all. Might have to twist your piece around to get it through that last little chain. And yarn over, pull through. Okay, to close that guy off. And again, repeating that on top of this little guy. Now this is called a half double crochet 4 tog. But just to keep it simple, I'm just gonna keep going. And again, we're gonna close it off with a cute little chain right there. And then our very last one is gonna go on top of this guy. Okay, so he's a little opening on there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just gonna insert through all, yarning over, pulling through, but I'm not gonna chain 1 on this one. Now you'll kind of see this piece on the side a little bit more clearly. You'll be able to see that last stitch right here. It becomes a stitch. I don't know how that happens, but that's what I'm gonna go with because it starts to straighten out, so it's beautiful. Okay, so now I'm gonna go straight away inside that guy, inside him, and make just a super simple half double crochet. Now from this point, we're actually going to be repeating the same thing as we did for the single crochet chain 1 row. So basically for every odd row, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and for every even row, you chain 2. Okay, so this is row 5. I'm chaining 1 and turning, and again, super simple. We're going to single crochet into that very first stitch right here. Single crochet, chain 1, make a jump into this beautiful ring right there, single crochet, chain 1, and hopping over cluster of puffs inside the chain space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and close up the round. Right there, you're gonna kind of feel where you're gonna be now. I'm gonna just insert and kind of find my way in here. I'm just gonna be in that guy right there. You're sort of working on the very side. I know it kind of seems a little bit funny, but single crochet to end that 5th round. Right there, into that 2nd chain from the row previous. That little guy who was faking to be a half double crochet, we just inserted in the very top chain of him. Now I'm going to chain 2 again. 1, 2, turn in the work, and that's when you continue to build on top of your little clusters. So you can go ahead and reverse the video. After you chain 2, we're going straight in, half double crochets, cluster right here. Keep those loops on your hook until you have 9. And that's just inserting 4 times. Once you count 9 loops on there, you can go ahead and pull all the way through, chain 1, hop over that stitch right here, that normal single crochet stitch, and go directly into the chain space, which is directly above, very simply, over the guy before, which is a cute little puff stitch. Oh my goodness. I love this pattern because it makes it so easy to see where to go and what you're doing. And again, that very last cluster puff, we're not going to chain 1 on top, but we're going to go directly in to this last stitch right here and do a half double crochet inside him. You see this little guy on the side? He's right there. You got him. Just insert into there and half double crochet. And that's perfect. I'm going to chain 1 and again begin the sequence. Now we can take a look at our beautiful work that we've been doing. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. I'm going to continue building my rows. Every time I chain one, I'm going to single crochet into that first stitch right there and chain one, skip over the clusters and single crochet, chain one in between. This is going to be so fantastic. When you get to this little kind of confusing part, it's starting to turn over on us now, so we can kind of see. The more it straightens out, the easier it becomes to identify. So now I'm going to actually go onto this piece right here. So if you turn your work, you'll notice it's right here. It starts to creep up. I don't understand how it does that, but my headband turned out wonderfully using this technique. So once that happens, I kind of just go from there. And now I'm going to chain two and repeat that half double crochet, turning and stacking on top of one another in the spaces. And you can go as long or as short as you want. So I continued this headband until I had 17 rows of these beautiful little puff stitches. And then the very last row, I finished off with the single crochet row. I'm on my single crochet row now, and my project is working up so quick, just a few minutes really. And I'm single crocheting in those spaces and chaining one. And now when you get to this last little piece, if you move your cluster out of the way, you can kind of see this piece right here. We're going to kind of just go into him. And you'll notice when you twist it over, those are 2 loops right there. And single crochet. And chain 2 to begin the next even row. Now this will be my last row of these little puff stitches. And I like to angle my little guy downward, his little head downward as I pull through all the loops. And I kind of stretch my piece up each time to kind of angle them all up, pulling through all of the little loops right at the very end of my last puff stitch on my 17th puff stitch row. And then I'm not going to chain one, but instead now, as you build up the rows, you'll also notice that this piece starts to kind of show itself to you. I'm going to go under both of those little loops. Okay, but first I have the yarn over for my half double crochet ending. Under both loops, yarn over, pull through all 3, and I'm going to finish off with a single crochet row. So I'm going to chain 1, turn, and again, first stitch, single crochet, chain 1. After that, in the chain space, single crochet, chain 1. And then right here again, I'm going to pull my puff stitch off to the side a little so I can see this guy right there. Single crochet right in there. And then I'm going to chain 1. And then that is beautiful. That'll bring together this fantastic little, oh my gosh, look at this. This is just way too cute. Okay, so what I'm going to actually do is after I chain 1, I'm going to leave quite a bit of yarn on here so I can whip stitch. So maybe about 12 or 15 inches or so. I'm going to chop that off and pull my hook, pull that string all the way through and tighten off. And now I've got this beautiful little, oh my gosh, look how wonderful you did. I'm just going to kind of fix my pieces up here, give it a nice stretch, look at it, admire it, because you did this and you did an amazing job. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and get my fantastic tapestry needle and put this little yarn in there. So once you got your little beautiful darning needle or your little tapestry needle already strung through, we can actually bring our piece together and whip stitch this together. Okay, so this is totally optional, okay? You can decide which one is your public side and reverse it. But for me, I'm just gonna go straight away because I can always adjust my little puff stitches at the end. So first I'm gonna begin with this piece facing out this way, and my tiny tail is facing me, closer to me. I'm gonna actually go through the edge right here. Just pick whatever side I'm comfortable with, and then go into that stitch. And then I'm going to pull. And again, I'm going to repeat that, go into the next following stitch, and find the corresponding one next to it, and go through there. And tighten as I go. And really this can be inserted anywhere you want. We're not really going to notice this. But just make it as neat as you can. So I'm just inserting and pulling away from me. Finding those cute little stitches right there. And tightening a little bit as I go. And just checking if they're nice and lined up. One of them is a starting chain and the other is a single crochet. So you kind of have to match them up whichever way you find to be the best. This is your project. You do it your way. And be easy on yourself because you know this is handmade. And I'm still learning every day. So if I'm showing you a funky technique, you know why. Because I kind of just do what feels right. Now once I got that, I'm going to look at the scallop nature of this and kind of try to bring these two ends together so it doesn't look so bumpy right here. So I'm going to go kind of at the very edge so I can bring them together. And then I'm going to take another look at it. Yeah, that looks awesome. Maybe you want to go over it one more time. Kind of pull up a different little area right there. Customizable. Put your own twist on it. Okay? Beautiful, fantastic, wonderful, brilliant. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is too cute. I can't believe we just did this. Okay, getting excited. Now I'm going to insert right just anywhere. And go through the loop right here. And give it a nice little tightening. I'm going to go one more time. Wherever. You decide. You're the artist. Beautiful. Tightening that guy on. Now I'm going to cut this guy. And give it a good amount of length here because we want to be able to tuck him in. I'm going to do a little knot. I'm going to try to bring it to the very base as close as I can get it. Really solidifying that guy in there. He's not going anywhere now. Now we got this cute little string here and a cute little one there. And that's absolutely brilliant. Now you'll notice that this is kind of busy right here. So that's where we're actually going to be placing the flower to kind of cover all that up. And you can decide which side you like more. Now we can come back and tuck in our tails in just a little while. But for now, let's go ahead and create this cute little petaled flower. So I'm going to make myself a little bit of room here and get out my color that I want for the center of the flower, which for me is just this yellow. So to start that beautiful center of our flower, I'm going to make a magic ring simply by getting this little tail facing me, wrapping around my 3 fingers like this, sort of the way I did in the beginning to start the chain. Under the first string, over the top string, pull it through, and then this time I'm actually going to turn my hook and then get that working yarn, kind of keep my hand loose but slightly tight and pull it through, and that is a chain 1. I'm going to untangle this little guy here, pull on the working yarn a little bit, and close the magic ring with that short little tail, and begin. I'm going to do half double crochets in here, a total of 5 into the ring, and I'm going to kind of hold the tail alongside of the ring so I can kind of stitch them in there. All right, beautiful. We have a chain 1 all ready to go there. I'm going to yarn over, insert, pull up a loop. Got 3 loops on the hook there, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's 1 half double crochet. I do find it a bit easier to go into the ring when it's just a slight bit small. Now I'm going to close the magic tail ring right there by tugging on it. And look how cute. I'm going to join this together now. So I'm actually going to slip stitch into that first stitch right here. You can see he's kind of curling in towards us. So if you bend it back, you can kind of tell we're right in an odd way. We're actually right here. So it starts to curl in. You'll see those 2 little loops right there. Whoops, just 2 right here. And yarn over, pull through, but then we're going to pull through again to make a slip stitch. Right there, now we got this cute little star. I'm actually going to close around with a chain 1. Leave about 4 inches of a tail, pull through, and tighten. Now we have this cute little circle. We're going to be building our petals inside of this. So this knot right here that we finished with, I'm going to be putting a petal in on this side of the knot and on the other. So if you look really close at your piece, there's 2 little spaces here on either side of the knot. So that counts as 1, 2, and then we're going to work into the stitch. 3, 4, 5, 6 loops. I'm going to first start in here, right to the right side of this knot. So I'm going to go in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get now my white. So I'm going to insert where I was discussing that I would go and stick my hook in there, bring through the white, and I'm just going to attach them on with a very super simple double knot, leaving a good length tail. Just a simple knot right here, 1 and 2. From there I'm going to insert where I put that knot, and I'm actually going to pull up a loop. There we go. So now we are ready to begin our sequence. Let's first chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in that same space that we're working inside right now, I'm going to actually put in 2 triple crochets. Very simply, I'm just going to yarn over 1 and 2 and insert into the space. Pull up a loop. Now I have 4 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 2, and yarn over again and pull through the last 2. That's a triple crochet right there. I'm going to do that one more time. Yarning over 1 and 2, insert, pull up a loop, 4 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're good. Now I'm going to chain 4 to get back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right off the bat, right off that triple crochet when we're finished, chain 4 on top of him, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the round. So I'm going to go right back in here, insert my hook, pull through, and you might have to twist your flower around a little bit and get that to go through again. And there you are. You just made your first little petal right there. Now from there, I'm actually going to be jumping into the next opening, which we earlier discussed is right here, that cute little guy right there. I'm just going to stick my hook in there and pull up a loop. And then again, pull through this. So we just basically did a slip stitch right there. Now we're going to start the petal sequence once more. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and triple crochet, 1, 2, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over 2, yarn over 2, and there we have it. Again, let's do it. Yarn over 2 times, insert, triple crochet. After you finish your second triple crochet, straight away, chain 4, 3, 4, go back into the opening and slip stitch to close it off. Right there. Now we're actually going to go into our first actual stitch, and you'll see it when you look at your little circle. Let's slip stitch to get into that section. Beautiful. And let's begin our little petal sequence. Chain 4, 2 triple crochets, chain 4. Once you finish your second triple crochet, chain 4 again and close it down at the bottom by slip stitching. And to get to the next stitch, you slip stitch into it, and then you begin again. Chain 4. You're starting to see your flower come to life. I was just sitting there one day and was wondering how I could make kind of a curly-Q type of petal flower. And this is just what I came up with. Slip stitched into my next space, and again chain 4, 2 triple crochets, and chain 4 when you're done. Might have to twist your flower around to get that slip stitch finishing off that last chain 4 of the petal, and then again slip stitch into the next space so you can get there. I'm on my second triple crochet right here, right before I do the last chain 4. And here I am. So I did my last chain 4 at the very end of my 6th petal, and I'm going to insert. Now I just showed you how to do 6 petals. Depending on how you want this to look, you can do 1 more stitch for your center round, and then you can add your petals in as you go and play around with however many petals that feel right to you. I wanted to give the 6 a try this time, but this one has 7. So it's an odd number flower, and this one's an even number flower. So once you do that last little slip stitch right there, I'm actually going to slip stitch now in the very first petal space right here to kind of complete the look. And then I'm going to chain 1 and trim, pull through and tighten. And then I'm going to kind of mess around with my flower, kind of flatten it around, move it around, see what I like. So cute. So here's what 6 looks like. Here's what 7. And then this is an 8-petaled flower right here. Totally customizable. You see how it kind of starts to curl in more? Oh my goodness, this one's a bit more of a flatter look. So if you wanted to do 6 petals, you can flatten them out. If you wanted to do 7, you can kind of be right in between curling up and being flat. Or you can do 8. So again, you would just increase the stitch on your little magic circle. Do 1 more stitch for 1 more petal. Oh my gosh, this is looking so adorable. I'm going to make myself a little bit of room, flip the flower over, and kind of make a couple knots back here. We're going to keep these strings on here because that's going to help it be attached to our cute little headband. So I'm going to give it a nice little tighten right there. And the white ones too. Now you'll start to feel your piece kind of come together, so I don't do it too tight on that very first knot, but the second one, I can be a little tough with it. And there we go. Oh my goodness, that is like the cutest little quick, easy flower ever. Oh my gosh. Now we can bring our headband back into the picture and decide which way we want facing out. I think I like this one more. So I'm going to turn it this way and find that stitching that we did to kind of join the 2 sides together. And then the flower's going to go right on top of there. So very easy. I'm going to use these strings back here to help me lace it in. Now you can position it however you want. First, go ahead and brainstorm how you want that to look on there. And once you have it, I'm going to place my hand here and get my hook and tilt this over and kind of insert where that center of the flower is, but just right here on the headband itself. And I'm going to hook in one of these pieces of yarn here and pull it through. And then I'm going to get another one, just in a kind of upper area. And then I might even want to just bring in the yellow one as well. Why not? Extra stability. And then I'm going to move this guy over here and go kind of more down here to grab him on this side. So I've kind of got up and down motions here to help stabilize the flower. Putting my piece inside out now, I'm going to come grab those little pieces, moving other strings out of the way, and I'm going to tie them on easily, right about there. And I'm going to give it a double knot. And I'm going to get my white ones again and do the same thing. And this is all the inner working, so we're not going to see this. Even triple knot it if you want. Beautiful. Now with that, I'm going to grab my 2 strings right here and get my tapestry needle again and lace both of these inside. You could do one at a time if you want, or if you can manage to do both, go ahead and try. That was a little bit tricky to get them both in there, but now that I have them, I'm going to just stick my yarn, making sure I'm only staying on the side that's inside the headband. And I'm going to go one direction with it, pull them through, and then go the opposite way, making sure I'm staying on this side. And it's okay if you do go to the other side because the flower is going to block it anyway. And once you get that, I'm going to trim just the white for now because that's all I ended up lacing through. Very carefully because we don't want to cut into our work. Beautiful. Now I'm going to do the same thing with these yellow ones. I'll be going one at a time for these yellow ones and sticking it in wherever I think it should be. Kind of just getting it in there. I know this work is so tedious right at the end, but it's totally worth it, and I know you will surely love your project when it's finished. My last yellow one is going in one direction and the other. Kind of going anywhere. I know this kind of looks like mayhem right now. You could even build this flower with the same color if you wanted that you created your whole headband out of, but for me, I'm just gonna do this, and I just love it so much. Okay, I'm gonna flip it back over to kind of see what we got going on. And we got a cute little flower on there. Oh my goodness gracious. That is so cute. Oh my gosh. I have to tuck in my little tails now, using the same technique. Now I like to kind of try to loosen up my piece, and you can go through the same stitches as your other pieces went through, if you want. One way and the other way. Now the shortest tail seems to be kind of facing the other part, so I'm going to go ahead and loop him in this way so I can kind of control where he is. And then, last but not least, I'm going to totally stitch him in here. The inner workings of this looks, you know, a little bit chaotic, but you know what? It's totally handmade, and we're totally 100% doing it right now. This is so cute. Again, loosening this up by pulling on it just a little bit, coming back with my scissors, giving it a nice trim up, flipping it right side in, and I'm just going to adjust this cute little flower on here. Oh my gosh. And there you have it, a cute little headband for a baby girl with an adorable little flower on top, totally customizable on how many petals you want to put on yours. I would love to see your finished projects. You can go ahead and join our Facebook group, All Things String, and I would love to see what you made. I can even see it being worn off to the side stylishly. Gosh, it's just been so much fun to be here with you. Thank you everyone so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!